Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys like my new hair dye. It's black, well dark, but serious video though. I'm sure over the last month and a half, you guys have heard on the news about the four suspects that were murdered in Moscow, Idaho, at the University of Idaho. So I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit, cause I heard about it like shortly after it happened, but like I didn't really pay much attention to it. And then when I went home with my family over the break is when they were talking about it a lot. So I kind of wanted to tune in more and learn more about what happened. So I've been watching a whole bunch of videos and stuff over the last couple weeks, not over the last week, about the Idaho murders. The first day I started looking into it was when they caught the murderer, Brian Koberger, December 30th, last Friday. So it's been about a week that I've really paid attention to what's happened. So in case you don't really, so the real story came out earlier today, about like what happened and like what one of the surviving roommates saw. So in case you don't know, 4 Idaho students were murdered on early morning hours, middle of the night, Sunday morning, November 13th, 2022. And so 3 girls, 1 guy, Kaylee, Maddie, Zayna, and Ethan were all murdered, stabbed to death in the middle of the night. And so says that Brian Koberger arrived, or was trying to park like at 4:04, and get this, there was a DoorDash guy that dropped off food at the house, like right when Brian Koberger arrived at the house around. So 4 a.m., around 4 a.m. is when the DoorDash guy came and dropped food off. I think it was to Zayna and Ethan, or at least Zayna, one of them. So those 2 were wide awake at 4 a.m. So the whole time when Brian Koberger was there, they were awake. They had to have been awake. So I think they were murdered first. And it's crazy because I want to hear that DoorDash guy speak out and and see if he noticed anything or anything like that. But yeah, just crazy stuff, gives me chills thinking about it. But I'm trying to keep thinking about this whole case. But so one of the surviving roommates, named Dylan, lived on the 2nd floor, and the whole last month and a half, everyone was saying, yeah, the surviving roommates, 2 of them lived on the 1st floor. The whole time they were saying there were 2 surviving roommates on the 1st floor. There was 1 on the 1st floor. And then the other surviving roommate, who they thought lived on the 1st floor, lived on the 2nd floor. And they didn't find this out until today. That's what I put on my Instagram story, part of it. So, and I don't know how she survived. I have no idea how Dylan survived. Because she lived right in the middle of the whole murders. She lived, if you're familiar with the house, what it looks like if you've seen any clips on YouTube, you might know what it looks like on the inside. So she lived on the 2nd floor, the same floor that Ethan and Zayna were at, where they got killed. Zayna's room's on the 2nd floor as well. Ethan didn't live there, just visiting his girlfriend Zayna for the night. Wrong place, wrong time. But yeah. So she was so she lived right next to the stairs that go up to the 3rd floor. So she could hear everything probably. And she said she opened her door 3 different times that night. She heard crying, which was probably Zayna, either her or Ethan crying, because they were, getting beat up to death. And then a few minutes after that, she heard what sounded like Kaylee, who could have been the target. She heard who she thought was Kaylee, but could have been Zayna, but she thought it was Kayla, that said, "Someone's in the house." Um, and her Kaylee's dog, because she had a Labradoodle, and it started barking around 4:17 in the morning. So that's probably when he was attacking Kaylee, maybe when the dog was barking, and the dog knew that Kaylee was in trouble or something like that, or it was right when he got done killing Kaylee, and then he was going back downstairs and get this. Sorry, I just got a text. Um, Dylan, I'm trying to memorize this whole thing. Dylan, the surviving roommate on the second floor, opened the door. She saw Brian Koberger, like almost face to face. The door was probably, not all the way open, but probably a little bit open, just enough where you can see out. I'm guessing that's how the door was open, um, with the light off. Of course, you don't want to be seen. And I don't know, did Brian Koberger not even notice her or anything? Like, how did she survive? I don't know how she survived, but she was right in the middle of it. Maybe she wasn't a target. She probably wasn't a target at all. Um, just crazy. She probably wasn't a target. And people say, how come she didn't call the cops at that time? Well, just think, if she called the cops at that time, the cops couldn't have done anything, because right when they would get there, they would probably be, unfortunately, they would probably already be dead anyway, because he did it in a hurry. He did it in a hurry, Brian Koberger. Killed everyone in a hurry. And then he got out through the back door. So he entered in the back door. There were like trees in the backyard. It was a pretty big backyard, I think, of the house. So people think he parked like behind those trees, like in the backyard where that hill's at. And then he walked his way inside the glass door, which was unlocked. You should always lock your doors. If everyone just locks your doors, this murder probably wouldn't have happened. But yeah, he probably went through the sliding door, and then, because remember, Zaina and Dylan, or no, not Dylan, Zaina and Ethan ordered DoorDash around that same time, so they were easily awake. So my guess is one of them, Ethan maybe, was in the kitchen or something, like getting silverware or something like that for eating DoorDash, and Brian saw them, maybe was a little bit surprised that they were awake, and then since Kaylee could have been the target, he wanted to get rid of them first, kill Ethan and Zaina first, get them out of the way, and then made his way upstairs and finished them off. So yeah, it just gives me chills thinking about it. Oh man, I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes. Like, over the last 5 days or so, I haven't been able to sleep that good at night, because I'm like, man, what if like that happened to me, like in the middle of the night. Like, I hate thinking that, but like, you just never know. This world is crazy nowadays. But and then um Dylan, the surviving roommate, heard, like, she heard crying, which was Zaina probably. Ethan was probably killed first, and then Zaina. So he probably killed Ethan first, and then he went for Zaina. Probably didn't kill Zaina completely. So that's probably when Dylan heard the crying on the second floor. It was probably Zaina crying, and it also could have been Zaina saying, "There's someone in the house," but it could have been Kaylee too. She thought it was Kaylee, but it could have been Zaina because they lived on the same floor. Easier to hear, maybe. Um, and so, and Brian Koberger, Dylan said that she heard him say, "It's okay, I'm coming to help you," I think referring to Zaina, which meaning help you, like finish you off type of thing. And that's what he did. And then when she saw him face to face, Dylan, when she saw Brian Koberger face to face, he was covering up his face with black mask or black hoodie. And he was walking, and then he went out the kitchen, went out that door that he came in from. And then she went to bed. But the weird thing is, the weird thing is, Brian Koberger came back to the house later that morning, like between 9:12 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. He was back in that area, and they say that the front door was left open at 8:30 in the morning. At 8:30 in the morning, maybe it was 9, I don't know. But who could have opened that front door? Was it the surviving roommate, like yelling for help, maybe, after he left? Or, I don't know what happened, or did he come in and open the door? Did he come through the back way, make sure everyone was dead between 9:12 to 9:30? He wanted to make sure everyone that he stabbed was completely dead, they weren't alive, double check on them, and then exited through the front door. I don't think he exited and left the door open. I don't think he did that, but yeah, just crazy to think about. Keep your prayers for the victims and their families. Horrible thing that happened. We need to prevent that in colleges and universities across the globe. We need to prevent that. Everyone should lock their doors, their room door, like the front, back door, like any door that leads to outside, lock it at all times, and then that hopefully will prevent a lot of this stuff. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah, just scary stuff. If you guys like this video, let me know what you kind of think of in the comments below. Brian Koberger went to Washington State University, which is only like 10-15 minutes away from Moscow, Idaho. So not that far of a drive. And yeah, I bet he thought he wouldn't get caught, but he did. Hope you guys can hear me okay in this video. I'm about wrapping it up now. But yeah, just wanted to give you an update. You've probably heard the update already, but kind of wanted to give my thoughts too. So I think Ethan was killed first, and then Zaina was beaten up but not completely dead yet, and then he went upstairs, and that's when the dog started barking probably, and he finished off Kaylee and is it Bailey? Maddie. Kaylee and Maddie he finished off, and then went back downstairs, finished off Zaina. And that blood on the side of the house, I think that was from Zaina's room, so that was probably the blood from her or Ethan. Ugh, just disturbing. Oh man. Whew. If I was those surviving roommates there, I would not go back there again. Like, in that house, I would not go back there again. Like, I would not. And you never heard about the roommate that lived on the first floor. Like, did she hear any? I'm sure she heard some of this as well. Maybe she was the one that left the front door open. I don't know. Early Sunday morning, but he didn't. As far as I'm aware, Brian Koberger did not go on the first floor where that one surviving roommate lived. I don't think he went down there. So, yeah, just a stalker. I mean, they said prior to November 13th, he visited, or not visited, but was like traveling around the house at least 12 different times. So he was probably like stalking the girls. Like, ugh, just makes me sick. I can't believe people like that live on this earth. Like, what makes you to do that? Like, it doesn't matter how pissed off you are. It doesn't matter if you get rejected several times by a pretty girl. It doesn't matter. You don't kill people. You do not do that. You don't. Like, it pisses me off that people, like, shooters, all that stuff. Like, in the town I live in, just on the outskirts of it, there was a shooting yesterday of 8 people an 8-member family that died from a shooting. Like, I'm scared to go out now. Like, it's not a safe place to go out, especially at night. I'm scared to go out. Like, it's not a safe place anymore, America. It's not safe. So, yeah. Yeah, well, I should wrap this up. It's been 14 and a half minutes. But, yeah. Pray for the families and everyone at risk here. So, hope you guys like this video. And please subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments.